Well, does Joe Biden really, truly want higher gas prices at the pump? Yes, here to tell us, Senator Tommy Tuberville of Alabama. Senator Tuberville, welcome back, sir. You know, I'll ask you, I mean, if you want lower prices, wouldn't you want more drilling? Wouldn't you want more lease? He just killed some very lucrative leases in Alaska and the Gulf of Mexico, Senator, right? So your Alabama's on the Gulf. The cheapest oil, break even, is only $30 a barrel. So I mean, he claims he wants lower oil prices. But do you think so? Do you think he really wants lower gasoline prices?
Well, first, Larry, before I get into the oil and gas prices, which is one of many crises we have right now, positive attitude. I love your balanced budget. I've been here 2 years, and I've never heard anybody say anything about a balanced budget.
Thank you.
It's an amazing place, but yeah, oil and gas. We have
hang on, Senator.
Right.
Let's say with this. I love this. It's unscripted. Let's throw the whole thing out and have some fun. Just you and me. Nobody else is really listening. If you sell this right, my point is, if you sell this right, high growth, great family incomes and job opportunities, and low inflation. And Newt and I have talked about this for a long time, and we got a whole group of thinkers on this. To me, this is an organizing principle for GOP and conservatives, but eventually we might be able to get a third of the Democrats with us. What you think? Off the top of your head, what you think?
I agree with you. Growth is the number one thing that we have to have in this country. The only thing that's positive right now is the tax cuts that President Trump put in years ago when he was in office. And thank God we've been able to keep those. But we have to have something positive happen in this country. We've got to give more money back to the people, to the citizens, the people that do the work. We've got to give more money back to them for our country to survive. Right now we're on the brink of bankruptcy, which we are already bankrupt, but we have to get to a balanced budget, Larry. We've got to get to a point, and we've got to start getting to the heads of some of these Republicans that don't think about it either. This is not just a Democratic problem. This is a Democrat and Republican problem. We have got to get back to somewhere, some common sense in this country, and give the money back to the people, cut taxes, and let them prosper and grow this country like we have years and years in the past.
See, that's the thing. We did it once. In fact, as Newt mentioned in the prior segment, look, it was 25 years ago, but with a balanced budget approach and welfare reform, we had high growth, low inflation, and budget surpluses in the late 90s. You know, that's not in the 18th century, which was when I was prospering. That's actually recently, okay, in the last 25 years. That was a joke. But I'm just saying it can be done. And the post-World War II growth can be done. And the way to do it, I think, is to look at it in terms of a balanced budget discipline, a balanced budget principle.
There's got to be some discipline put into this. If you just look at the past year and a half, Larry, the Biden administration has put 500,000 more people on welfare and food stamps. And that's not including all the illegals that he's allowing to come in every day. And it's going to continue to grow, and it's going to continue to take money out of the pockets of the people in this country that actually pay the taxes, where they can't reinvest and do things that they want to do to make the country stronger. It's just a circle of life that the Democrats love. They love taking away from the working people and giving it to people that don't want to work.
So that's an important point. Now, you have a new, I don't know if it's a bill or what, but you're challenging the Labor Department with respect to 401ks. And I like this. It's maybe a sidebar in the great scheme of things, but it's important. You're saying to them, Biden Labor Department, don't be telling us what to invest in. And if people want to invest in cryptocurrencies or whatever other assets, it's their portfolio. Is that right? Tell us about that, please.
Yes, it's the Financial Freedoms Act, Larry. And it's just another grasp of overreach by the Biden administration. So the Secretary of Labor decides he's going to get involved in this, of bringing the American people down, taxing people. So the average worker works 16,000 days a year, 133,000 hours they put in to going towards and building retirement. The problem is now the Biden administration and the Department of Labor, they want to say, no, wait a minute. We're going to tell you what you can and cannot invest in these brokerage windows. And so they're saying, we're thinking about not allowing you to get in cryptocurrency. And I'm not telling anybody that cryptocurrency is the right thing to get into, but it's not just cryptocurrency. The next thing will be fossil fuels. Mm-hmm. The next thing will be guns, things that you can get into and possibly make money in some of these big companies, but it's a massive overreach. And we've got to get away from this. We've got to turn the American people loose and quit putting new rules and regulations on them every day.
Well, don't you think that the Labor Department and the other agencies have earned the right to dictate investment policy? They've done so many other terrific things.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
If they would just get out of the way. And in my state and all across the country, the Labor Department right now is trying to push unions everywhere. And, you know, there were some good unions over the years, and there probably still are, but every nook and cranny now, they're looking to try to put people in a union to try to get union dues and union fees to where they can help people get elected. That's all it is. And again, it all started with the Department of Labor and this Financial Freedom Act. Hopefully we can get it on the floor, but you know, the way things are going with our majority leader on the floor, it's very doubtful until we take over in November.
So last one, Senator, just quickly, Amazon regrouped and did win the union election, right? They kept the worker freedoms, and the workers voted for Amazon. I think it was pretty hefty. It was over 60% up here in Staten Island. Where's this thing going? What's happening with the election, the union election with Amazon in Alabama?
Yeah, in Birmingham, remember about a year ago, Larry, they pushed it hard. They pushed the union hard. It went down, you know, 50%. They didn't get 50% of the vote, but they called foul. They said there was too many boxes close to a mailbox outside the plant, so they got a revote. Obviously, they gave them a revote, and they had another vote just recently, about a month ago. It failed again. So hopefully the Department of Labor will stay out of this, allow people to do what they want to do. We're a right-to-work state. We want to stay a right-to-work state. If they want a union, let them pass it, but it failed 2 times. We don't need another vote.
Yeah, worker freedom. I like that. Worker freedom, investor freedom, just ordinary freedom. How about that? Senator Tommy Tuberville, thank you, sir. As always, great to see you.